Welcome to the Phil Steele Plus Tour for Week 0, 2024. Up for you today, I've got some free selections for this week. I've got some free selections on some futures for this year's season, and even a free play from in the season for a series domination play. Now, the last 8 weeks of the regular season, the Phil Steele Plus Tour, 26-12, 68% winners. When this tour is not only to give you free winners, but it's also to show you how to use Phil Steele Plus to its best. Now, if you're a VIP member, you got the magazine, you get a lot of pluses. One of the things you get is Phil Steele Plus through September. I want to make sure you use Phil Steele Plus to its fullest because everything I use to handicap is on Phil Steele Plus. I want to show you how to get to all of those outstanding features and, of course, give you some free plays. Now, let's start out here. What we're just going to look now. This is not on Phil Steele Plus, but the daily blogs. I do put up a different blog every day, and just to show you how this works. When you go to your daily blogs, example, let's click on here, daily blog. This is going to take us to the daily blog section. I just want to show you one thing here. We're a little slow this morning. Daily blog. There we go. Go to your blog archives. A lot of great features in here. When you go to blog archives, let's go back and take a look at this first one here, which is the Westgate Superbook odds to win the conference title. So let's click on that one for a moment. And this shows you the Westgate, great partners with us here. Superbook, Westgate, Vegas. This is all their odds to win the conference titles. And what I've got for you here are some early plays. I've got 9 early ones. This is each conference. I picked some long shots, not necessarily the team I think is going to win the conference, but I think the ones with the best odds. Now, if you were to, let's say, put $100 on each of these games, I think you'd end up with a profit at the end of the year, and especially if some of these big ones hit, like a 80-1 odd here, 40-1 odds here. So if some of these big odds hit, big cash, but here are free plays. That's how you get to it. Go to the daily blog, go to the archives, or just pause your screen right now and jot them down. Those are my plays, the long shot plays for this year. But when you go to the archives, click back to it for a second. If you're in the NFL, look at this. I've got the NFL AGG updated for 2024. I'll talk about that in a minute. NFL turnovers equals turnaround, close wins, close losses, stock market indicator, YPP, finding value in the YPG, all those great articles. Make sure you check them out. I got my starts lost article up there, the schedule with numbers, the Vegas power ratings, all that's up there. Just go in our blog archives. You can even go back and look at past blogs all the way back years ago if you want to go take a look at how these blogs did in the past. So please use your blog as archives menu. Now, the main thing you have to do to use Phil Steele Plus is to get to your menu. So what you do here, just go to your account in this corner right here. And I'm going to tell you to bookmark a page because it makes it a lot quicker. So you view your online products right here. And you view Phil Steele Plus access. That's 3 clicks. And here's your 4th click here. Gets you to Phil Steele Plus access. This is your main page. Bookmark this. And then you don't have to go through the 4 clicks to get here. You're on this page. This gives you access to all the FBS, FCS, NFL information that are on Phil Steele Plus. Now, if you click on anything else to try to get here, you can't get here unless you're a Phil Steele Plus member. But let's start with the NFL. Now, in the NFL, we do have ATS logs updated weekly. They were all up for last year, yesterday. But Todd took them down. He's getting ready for this year's ATS logs. I wish I could show them to you, but they're not up here. But the ATS logs, we update them all season long right here. College ATS, FCS ATS, NFL, the logs are updated with the score and the line of the game and who won the game. All that's updated each and every week. But let's go back to the NFL for a minute here, NFL team pages. And let's go to the Kansas City Chiefs. Take a look around what all you can get. Now, the first thing you get, you're a fantasy football player, right? So if you're a fantasy football player, go look at these individual player stats. This will help you out on a weekly basis. You could see how Patrick Mahomes did against each of the opponents for last year. See his ups, downs, who he did best against, who he did worst. The NFL pages go back. I don't delete this information. So we've been putting this information up there all the way since 2013. And look, even in 2013, you could click on the individual player stats and get that. So individual player stats all the way back to 2013 on the NFL are updated for you. Also in the NFL, last 10 years ATS and over-under win records. Look at this. This is last 10 years ATS records. Straight up, ATS, favorite, dog, division. Hey, how does this team do as a home favorite against their division? Look at that. You got it right there, how they've done. How does a team do as a home favorite non-division? How about as an underdog? How about as a favorite? How about on grass, turf, conference, non-conference, off a win, off a loss? All these are updated last 10 years right there. And underneath it, the over-unders. Over is the first one. Under is the second. So once again, you're looking for a trend on a certain team, an over or an under. And I think what I'll do maybe next week, I'll find some interesting trends for you, highlight them for you, and then go over it for the NFL. That'll be on next week when I give you a brief tour there. But that's available. How about the last 20 years logs? And actually, it will be the last 21 years logs once we get 2023 up there. But you can go back and take a look at the last 20 years results. This is against the spread, the score of the game, who covered the game, the over-under, and whether the game went over-under. And then just like we have for the college, you get complete numbers here, who the head coach was and what they've done statistically, who the passing leader was, rushing leader was, receiving leader was, and even tackling leader was. All this available on every team. Great research. You ever want to research anything, it's all at your fingertips in the NFL. But the thing that has me most excited this year is in years past, I do AGG plays on the Phil Steele Plus Tour for college. I do it for the FCS. But in the NFL, they've been too tight. Well, I figured out the formula this year, and we do have a complete difference. It is a 16-point difference from top to bottom, and these average game grades we're going to use this year. I haven't been using them. We're going to use them. We'll probably have a weekly AGG grade for the NFL. So this is your average game grade. It takes into account not only a score, and it gives you nothing. In other words, Kansas City is not here. If didn't matter who put the stats up, if this was Carolina that put these stats up, they'd have the same game grade. It only takes into account the opponent. It takes into account what you did, yards rushing, yards passing, defensive rush, defensive passing, points, and defensive points against the opponent, and gives you an average game grade. Here is a great game grade here at 103.6. And their lowest game grade was right here against Vegas when they lost 14-20. It was 83. These will be updated each week right here on Phil Steele Plus team pages. Enough on the NFL. The NFL starts in 2 weeks. We'll get more into that. Now, if you're into the FCS, I do want to remind you, we have an FCS magazine. It's $25. Go to the store, and when you go to the store, go click on the magazine. It's a digital magazine, $25, 2 full pages on every FCS team. Just like you get the 2 full pages on every FBS team, you'll learn about all these teams. And I learn about these teams instantly just by clicking on them. And let's take a look at South Dakota State, for example. Click on South Dakota State. Now, this says last 6 years ATS logs. Todd will get this going. He'll have it up pretty soon. It'll have 2023 in here and be the last 7 years. Who keeps track of FCS logs for the last 7 years? Nobody, right? Nope, we do right here. I use them, and you're up here. If I use them for anything, we have them up there. So we'll have the last 7 years FCS logs. You can see who is favored, who is an underdog in every single game in the last 7 years. You want to get series history, you can get it. All that's there. And, of course, the average game grades are updated, how they do against the foes on the season, just like the FBS. All these pages updated, even individual player stats. You can go through and get everybody's individual player stats for all the FCS teams. That's updated right here each and every week during the FCS season. So that's loaded. Now let's go to the FBS. That's what I'm sure the majority of you are going for, but I mean, all 3 should be used. And we're going to start out here. I'm going to give you a play. Let's enough of the talk about the tour for a minute. Let's go ahead and give you a play. We're going to take a look at Wisconsin, Purdue. Now, I used this on the tour last year. It's called the Series Domination Play, and it's gone 7-2 the last 2 years. I don't use it every week. I use a whole myriad of plays every week, different titles on them and things like that. But the Series Domination Play 7-2, and it was a winner with this one last year. It's Wisconsin, Purdue. Now, when you click here on box, this tells you what happened in the game. We'll get back to that in a minute. But when you click on the opponent, now I want you to notice, you see how all these opponents are colorful like this and these are not? Todd's going to get around to posting it, and I would say by the end of, within a week, these will all be up. All the series history will be up. But let's go back. This is last year. You click on Purdue, and what do we see here? We see the Wisconsin's won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17 in a row against Purdue. This is the last 26 years matchups. It'll be the last 27 years matchups. And let me take you through this sheet for a minute. If this color is green, that means the team won the game. You don't even have to look at the score. You know that Wisconsin won the game. If it's red, they lost the game. This is the spread. If it is green, that means Wisconsin covered the game. If it is red, that means they did not cover the game. Once again, you don't have to go, okay, they were 24.5. They won by 21. They didn't cover. No, it's right there. Red did not cover, did not cover, did not cover. The only 3 times they haven't covered, they've been a 17-point favorite or higher against Purdue. All the other games they've covered. Now, last year we used this. They were a 6-point favorite at Purdue. Let's see what happened in the game. Final score, 38-17. This tells you right here they were up 21-3 at the half. And when we look at the box score, and I'd like to thank collegepressbox.com for allowing us to put the box scores up here each week. You see it was 21-3, 24-3, 38-17 was your final. You want to get the stats on the game. And what I do every week, I go through the play-by-play of every single game. And there it is. I use it. It's up here. If you want to get the play-by-play of every single game, just go to philsteele.com Sunday morning, click on box score, and you get the play of every single game throughout the course of the season. So this is the score of the game. This is your halftime of the game. So example here, they led Rutgers 17-0 at the half, won 24-13. They actually trailed Northwestern 24-3 at the half, lost 24-10. I love these halftimes. Gives you a great thing of how they led LSU at the half. 21-14. If you watch the game, you know LSU scored late in the game to finally take the lead 35-31. That's all up here. But the series domination play says Wisconsin dominates Purdue. They won the game 38-17. They were a 6-point favorite. If you go to my Vegas power ratings, which are up right now, and we'll take a look at that. Go to the homepage, click on the Vegas power ratings. These are updated every week here on philsteele.com. But here is your Vegas power ratings. We could see that right now, Purdue. Let's find Purdue here. Let's find Wisconsin. Here's Wisconsin, 113. And Purdue, I thought they were over here somewhere. Purdue is 104, so that's 9. It'd be a 12-point favorite. So it's not over the 17 margin. We're going to give you a play right now. And that play is going to be Wisconsin minus the points over Purdue. They'd be about a 12-point favorite right now, and that is your series domination play. And when you go to these pages, and once again, I highly recommend that you bookmark this menu for Phil Steele Plus right here. When you bookmark it, it takes you to this page. Go to the team page. Let's go to Georgia, for example. Poke around in Georgia right now. If you look at Georgia, you can get those last 10 years spread records. Now, right now, this is showing through 2022. They'll be updated through 2023. But, yeah, we've got spread records in the magazine, but they're not this in-depth. Underdog, double-digit dog, single-digit dog by 20 or more. You could see how they do. I know that with Georgia, they're not as good as an away or as a home favorite. As you see, 24-34. They're much better as an away favorite, 24-14. They're outstanding as a home dog, maybe not so much as an away dog. Neutral sites are 19-11-1. All these are at your fingertips. Go back to the last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. These are updated, but Todd's just got to post them. That's the last 10 years straight up in ATS. Now, also what you get on a weekly basis, how about this? Last 40 years results. You can go all the way back to 1976. Hey, when's the last time Georgia was a 20-point favorite against this team? You've got it all at your fingertips. Now, once again, 2023, not updated quite yet. Todd's running a little behind here, but he'll get that updated. And it's in your magazine anyway, so just look at your magazine. It's got 2023, 22, 21, 20, and 19, but 18, 17, 16. This takes you all the way back. Now, this is going to, you'll find this interesting, and if you've watched the tour before, you know this, but they did not start posting totals in college football until 2006. Now, we captured them. They're right here. All the totals are here. Prior to that, totals weren't even a thing. Did you know that? Back in 1992, there wasn't such a thing as a college total. Those are up now. These tells you over or under. There gives you the total. The win-loss here refers to what they did spread-wise in the game. If it is bold, that means the team won the game outright. Here is your half times. We started charting those back in 2006. So you got the half times, you got the totals, everything since 2006, and these will be updated through 2013. And this, look at this. You got every single coach. You can see how they did, their records, how they did in the SEC, the statistics on the team, what their special teams rank was. It's all here, every page, every team updated. Right now, as you can see down here, it's only updated through 22. Todd will have those updated through 23 when he updates the page. Also, what you can get is the start chart. And when you look at the 2023 start chart, this gives you every start for the season last year. They'll be color-coded, green and red. Green meaning that Beck started all year. Red for starts missed. That'll be up here, and they'll show you the starts lost, starts missed. How to get those updated for you as well. Something else that you can get is the last 20 years leaders. That's updated right now through 22. Those will be updated pretty soon through 23, but it's interesting to see who the quarterbacks were and what they did and who their leaders were. And also are available as the draft history. And with the draft history, these are updated. Way to go, Todd. You got those updated. And we go all the way back through 1938. So every draft pick ever, it's updated right here. This gives you a breakdown how many first rounders, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh rounders. They're all updated right here. So all this available on every page, plus the AGG, plus the offense versus defense. You know how all this stuff works. And the individual player stats, of course, if you're playing fantasy football. Here's how Carson Beck did against each opponent last year. Here's when Brock Vandergrift played. Here's your rushing and your receiving. If you do play college fantasy football, you're going to find that, who was his best game against. Definitely put that quarterback in for the best game against. So the FBS page is loaded with information. And I'm going to give you a play right now. So let's get to it. And we're going to go to see Hawaii is playing Delaware State this week. And I'm going to call this the last 4 weeks. Now, the thing I found last year is that when I put out these last 4 weeks plays based on last year's last 4 weeks, they didn't have the same impact as they did if they were the last 4 weeks plays, AGG game, which last year, the last 4 weeks AGG game of the week, when it was an underdog, went 4-1 against the spread. So, and on the schedule, the last 4 weeks AGG plays went 45-26 the last 11 weeks. I'll show you the schedule in a minute, but these last 4 weeks AGG plays are gold when they're actually this year's last year. And of course, you can't start the first 4 weeks of the season because the AGG is the same. Fifth week, they start a little bit, but then once you get here, it's current form on the team. But let's just take a look at how Hawaii finished the year last year. Hawaii won 3 of their last 4 games. Look at their AGG out here. 94, 104, 92, and 77. Down here is your last 4 weeks. So on the season, they were an 88.1 AGG. Over the last 4 weeks, they were a 92.1. They were playing their best ball down the stretch. Now, the good news for Hawaii, they're one of the most experienced teams in the country. They're number 6 on my experience chart. Check out your magazine page. Braden Shager, their quarterback, is back. Let's see how Shager did down the stretch last year. Threw for 320 yards against Colorado State, 30 of 43 in the final game of the season, and now he's starting out this year. So you've got a Hawaii team that was playing great ball, its best ball down the stretch last year, and the bulk of the team is back, number 6 on my experience chart. Now they are taking on Delaware State. Honestly, I don't know a lot about Delaware State, but I will in a minute when I click on the team page. Delaware State, I don't even know their nickname. They're the Hornets. Okay, the Delaware State Hornets. Here's what I want to point out. They had a good defense here. Look at this, 325 yards per game, 318 yards per game. They won 5 games. They won 5 games. Last year, look at the defense, 446. Look at all this red. Now, the red is beautiful. I can't do red and green in the magazine because it wouldn't show up well. I could do it here on the website, and it shows up great. Green means good things. So they had very little good things going on, a lot of red. Look at this yardage, 287, 40. They gave up 246 yards per game rush, 6.1, 66% completions, and they played a weak schedule. Virginia Lynchburg, do you even know where Virginia Lynch, what conference they're in? Norfolk State, NC Central. Anyway, their AGG for the year, 47.0. So if we take that 47, by the way, if you open up your FCS magazine, you'll know Delaware State has 12 starters back. So it's not an overly experienced team. Hawaii's very experienced. Delaware State, 47. Hawaii, 92.1. That's a 45.1 difference. Do you know Delaware State missed their flight? They got stuck in New York an extra day. I'm giving Hawaii a 5-point home field edge. That's a 50.1 edge for Hawaii. They're a 39-point favorite. We're going to take Hawaii, a team that needs to get wins here. Timmy Chang's third year, loaded team, experienced. And the last 4 weeks AGG says by 50, we're going to take Hawaii minus 39 over Delaware State. Now let's go to something really interesting, and that's my schedule with numbers. First of all, let me show you how to get to schedule with numbers. We're going to go here to, let's click over here. Let's go to your Phil Steele Plus page. There we go. And you go right here. See your Phil Steele Plus page, the menu, schedule with power rating forecasts. Now, this gives you an in-depth idea of what each of these columns is. I took a lot of time typing this in, put it all up there for you. You want to know how we get revenge? It's right there. And look, the revenge best bets last year, 48 and 20, 71%. The strength of schedule plays, 36 and 22 the last 7 weeks. Here's the last 4 weeks, starting after week 5, 44 and 26. These are updated every single week. Now, here's your current one when you click on it. And this will really start to be filled in. We don't have it all filled in right now. It will get filled in. In fact, look at that. I hit refresh, and Todd even updated it as of today. And this gives you my preseason line on every game. If you're a Phil Steele Plus member, you can get my preseason line on every single game right now. It's right here. Go back all the way through. This is my line on every game for the season. This is Action Network's line. Colin Wilson does a great job, and he forecasts the line on every game of the season. This is my plus-minus ratings, which come very close to the Vegas power ratings, every game for the season. This is taking the current FBI's ratings and adding in my home field edge. So that's the difference there. That's the FBI ratings. So you want to get an idea who's favored, who's an underdog. These are actual Vegas ratings here, which a lot of casinos and put out advanced lines on marquee games. There you get your advanced Vegas lines on the games. All this is at your fingertips, but this is what it looks like during the course of the season. And during the course of the season, when you get, I wish I could put this whole thing on the page. There we go, slide it over this way. All right, so it tells you when they last met. Last year, this was a little bit confusing. The Brown was if they met in the last 5 years. This was last year's meeting. We changed it this year. This is if they met last year. And how this works is if, let's say, let's go find a game from last year. Hawaii, it's Ohio State, Indiana. It says Ohio State's minus 34.5 at Indiana. That means when they were at home the previous year, they were a 40.5 point favorite. Take away the 3 points, add 3 to the visitor. But it tells you how it works. The green means that the play won. The red means that the play lost. These that are all in green like this are best bets. Look at all the best bets you get on a weekly basis. And if after the game is over, if the green is in black, that means the best bet won. If the green is in red, that means the best bet lost. But this is an idea of a sample page from last year. Go read my blog. I have a blog on this, which talks about the schedule, goes in depth. But you get last 4 weeks plays. You get the situation plays, which did well, strength of schedule plays. You get what my preseason line was, the plus-minus value, and you get the Vegas line. Everything is updated. And then we also update after the game's over. Tells you who won the game. The team that won the game is that covered the game is in bold. You can see Minnesota won 13-10, but Nebraska covered the game. That's all up here. Then this tells you what the line was on the game. Minnesota was -7. So use this schedule thing. It's a great feature year, and it's available to all Phil Steele Plus. It's like getting a completely new bonus section of best bets all season long. Get the schedule section and use it every single week. All right, let's wrap it up. I'm going to go with the win totals, some win totals for the upcoming year. Before I get to it, I do want to throw out one quick special for you. Oh, wrong one. And that is this one. And we'll pull it down here. The Phil Steele Plus Tour through February. Now, you can have access to all this information. FBS, FCS, NFL, all those team pages, all that information, the schedule page for $4 a week. There are 25 weeks between now and the Super Bowl. $4 a week, just $99. But even less, it's a Phil Steele Plus Tour special. If you want to have access to Phil Steele Plus for the entire season through the Super Bowl, you could save $10. Just type in the code database when you go there. Go to the store, go to Phil Steele Plus, type in database. But I got something even better for you. I have a weekly newsletter called Inside the Press Box. I cover every single FBS game for the entire year, even FBS versus FCS games. Give you an example. Next week, there are 40 FBS versus FCS games. I've got each one written up for next week with the score projection, with my computer's projection, and more. And I battle the computer every week. The computer last year finished out the season great, going 18-8-1 down the stretch. The computer, with that hot streak down the stretch, ended up beating me for the title last year. I'm going to get the computer this year, but it's a great battle every week. You get my computer's best bets, you get my best bets, and you get the entire season of Inside the Press Box. And just real quick, we'll take you to the store real quick. Click on store right here. I'll just show you where you go. But remember that code word database, by the way. Here is NFL and College Bundle, College Edition, NFL. Here's Phil Steele Plus. Here's the FCS preview. Here's the magazine if you want to get it. And right now, this database code will get you $10 off PressBox. And the reason I mentioned PressBox now is PressBox includes Phil Steele Plus. So if you're going to sign up for Phil Steele Plus for the $99 and get the college is $169, and that is $70 basically for Inside the Press Box for the season once you get the Phil Steele Plus. It is $169, gets you the college version. So that is the deal for you right now if you type in the code word database. Now let's get to those win totals I promised you. The win totals for the season. The first one we're going to look at, and these are, once again, thanks to Superbook at Westgate. The first one we're going to take a look at is Iowa. And this is my favorite play. It was 7.5. It is now 7.5, and it is now 8, I should say. When you look at Iowa's schedule, I have an underdog in one game this year, just one game. So I've got Iowa over 8. I think they're a team that could actually have a shot at winning the Big Ten. If you look at their schedule, the only game I have an underdog is at Ohio State, and that's a pretty good margin there. It's only 8. Another one to take a look at is Air Force. Air Force is 7. Once again, this is one where I've got Air Force a favorite in, I believe, 9.5 games this year. So I like Air Force over 7, Iowa over 8. And then we're going to take a look at the last one. And my last total for you is Georgia State. And Georgia State is right now... by the way, Air Force did lose a lot from last year, but they always do. It's a service academy, and they always reload, so keep that in mind. And Georgia State is 4.5. And here's the thing. Georgia State lost their head coach 2 games into spring practice, lost a lot of players to the transfer portal. I think they're going to have a tough time in the Sun Belt this year. So your 3 win total plays, Iowa over 8, Air Force over 7, Georgia State under 4.5. There you go. That'll do it for your first Phil Steele Plus tour, your tour for week 0. I hope I taught you a little bit about how to use the site to its fullest. Keep in mind, next week I'll be back with the first full Phil Steele Plus tour. I'll have a ton of college selections for you for week 1. And I'd like to take this time to thank you for taking the Phil Steele Plus tour this week.